Good day, my friends. Today we are working on a 2011 Chevy Cruze, man. The brakes are getting bad. They're getting very, very low, man. So yeah, we're gonna be swapping out the brakes. One of the telltale signs that you may be needing some brakes pretty soon, man, is the amount of brake dust that starts to build up on your rim. That's a telltale sign that it's almost time for some new brakes. And of course, if you look a little further into that brake caliber and that brake assembly, you can see that those brakes are pretty worn down. I'm gonna get this tire off so I can give you guys a better view of what I'm talking about. I got the wheel off, man, I can give y'all a better understanding of what I was talking about. So now that we inside here, this is actually the piston that pushes the brake pad against the rotor every time your car stops. So we're not looking at this right here. And this is the metal piece. To the left of this is the metal piece that's actually on the brake pad itself. But right beside that, right there where that hole is, that's the thickness of our actual brake pad that's left on the car. So yeah, it's pretty low, man. It's pretty low indeed. There's a bunch of brake dust all inside of here, man. So yeah, we're gonna get this thing swapped out. Hey, I got a couple tools here laid out, man, just to give you guys a visual of what we'll be working with while we getting this job done. Here I got my C-clamp, of course. That's always come in handy. I normally use that to depress the brake cylinder in, but we may or may not need that. I got my 10mm ratchet. That's actually for the caliber bolts that's on the actual car. We got our handy dandy hammer just in case we got to get a little rough taking them caliber bolts off and we ain't got enough strength, you know? And this right here, man, I know you guys are probably curious on what this is. So I got this off of Amazon, right? So this was roughly about 40 bucks on Amazon. And this is a brake cylinder pusher tool. So what this does is when you take the brake pads off of the old caliber, it's going to be sticking out too much. So you need something that's going to allow you to depress the brake piston in to get the new ones on, because they got way thicker padding on the new ones, you know? So yeah, this tool right here come in handy, man. Look this up on Amazon. They probably can even give you a better overview of what exactly you use it for, in case I didn't explain it right for you guys. Also the brake pads. So these are the brake pad number that we got from AutoZone. Duralast brakes, you know, them are always almost the best ones you could probably buy. And we have the brake pads themselves, and we have the brake pad brackets. This slide on the new caliber. This brake quiet, this red stuff that you see here, you can buy this from AutoZone or any parts store around. What this does is metal on metal contact always creates a noise. This red stuff is basically the barrier between the push rod and the actual brake pad itself. So yeah, it's a very good stop squeals. Yeah, you need that, man. Trust me. Let's get started. Hey, so here y'all see me with my 10mm ratchet wrench that I pulled out earlier. Make sure y'all going in the right direction when y'all taking to loose that bolt. You do not want to travel in the wrong direction. End up stripping that bolt out, and yeah, now you back at the parts store spending more money. Have way bigger problems. So yeah, we're gonna continue to take that on out of there. So now that we got that bolt out of there, we all good to lift this caliber up. You're probably wondering why I didn't take the top bolt out, because you really don't need to. As you see, that thing just flip backwards like that, and that's enough room to get everything you need done. You take them old brake pads out. Honest to God truth, y'all, them brake pads wasn't even that bad. I see what the problem was, though. It was that back part was rusted that was creating all that dust, so we couldn't fix that anyway. Remember those clips I was telling y'all about that came in the new pack? There they go, taking them off. Oh yeah, I also forgot to tell you guys, you need a wire brush. I actually forgot to lay it out and show you guys when I was showing you the tools we was gonna need for this job. But normally when you take off them old brackets, you want to make sure that you clean the surface that's you putting the new ones back on, man. Because if you put them on with debris under them or anything, it'll cause them brackets to be lopsided. So you get that wire brush and you just clean out the space that the old brackets set in. I had to turn on my light, man. I couldn't really see. Normally when you buy brakes, they come in a pack of four inside of there. So you need two on each wheel, one on the bottom and one on the top on each side. So yeah, and there is no particular way to put those in. It's not like one of the brackets fit this side or the top or the bottom. There's no specific way. They all fit pretty much on each side, the top or the bottom. Now that we got those in place, we're gonna take those brake pads that we already got with the red stuff on them. Yeah, we're gonna put them on, man. You normally put the back on first. I do. Put the back on, make sure they fit in there perfect. You should slide in pretty easy. I'm sorry about the camera view. I had to get my big arm in there. Yes, sir. This was a cakewalk. Sliding that front on. Come on, get on there. Might have to wiggle it around just a little bit to make sure. Oh, we straight. We straight. Perfect. Now that I got the brake pads on, got the new brackets on, everything fitting snug, just like it's supposed to. Now, guys, it's time. As you can see, this won't go back down because like I was telling you before, this is actually pushed out too far. This is the brake cylinder. It's actually pushed out too far. So now we have to depress this back in so it can have room to fit over the new brake pads that we just installed. But before we do that, before we depress this in, right, this is a pressurized line. So all of this brake lines is pressurized. It's pressure, it got the brake fluid in there, and you don't want to bust the line by depressing this, and then there's no way for any of the fluid to go back out. So before you do anything, make sure you come up here and take the cap off your brake fluid. So worst come to worst, while we depressing that line, we may get brake fluid that come out of here because the brake fluid needs somewhere to go, you know, as we depressing it. But we want it to come out of here. We want the pressure to come out of here. We rather for it to come out of here than to actually bust a line or something like that. So yeah, make sure y'all take y'all brake fluid cap off just so it can be enough pressure to release here. So remember earlier when I was telling y'all how y'all got to depress that, right? I'm finna show you something that my boy told me a long time ago. You use the old brake pad up against the brake cylinder and you just take that C-clamp. Gratefully, I didn't have to use the actual cylinder tool that I got off of Amazon this time. I normally use the C-clamp anyway, but you gotta unwind it all the way so you have enough clearance to fit it on there just like such. Make sure you're not clamping that back end of it on a brake line or anything. Make sure it's on something that's solid, that's gonna stand the pressure that you're about to put on it. So you just wanna wind that thing on up. Make sure it's fitting snug. It's gonna be a little weird, but you'll get it as you're doing it by yourself. You'll see what I'm talking about. You start to crank it in. You may be able to actually just see that cylinder going in slowly. You want to do it slow because although you got that brake fluid cap off, it's still like pushing fluid back into the system. So you want to do it slow. You don't want to just hurry up and do it because it's still a possibility that you can blow a line, man. So just be cautious, be patient, man. Slowly crank that thing in. It's depressing more and more. I don't know if you can notice it, but yeah, I noticed it actually. Just slowly. That old brake pad up against there. Oh, we good. See how it's in now? Now we should be able to slide that boy right back down. We're going to clean it up a little bit just so I ain't got no old debris there. Should be able to slide right down on top of the new brakes now. Make sure that rotor is straight. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's a cakewalk. It's a cakewalk. We on there. We on there. Put that bottom bolt in. Put that bottom bolt in. It's a game time. Now we just switch to the other side, man. Of course, because we already had the wheel turned the other way, we got to turn it back this way so we can get as much room as possible. Skirt, skirt. Yeah. We in there making it shake. Making it shake. Of course, we're going to take that. This side is the same size as the other side. So we're going to take that 10 millimeter again. Of course, again, righty tighty, lefty loosey. I can't stress that enough. Most of the bolts, man, on your brake caliper, they just be hand put on there. You don't want to use a power tool because you can get them too tight and the head of the bolt will break off. Wiggle that thing off of there. Just like last time. Knock those old brakes off of there. I think this camera view a little better. Take them brackets off, the old brackets. Take that wire brush, clean it up real good. You want that all the old debris. You see it coming off? That's what I was talking about. If you was to put them new brackets on top of that, it may not line up correctly. So you want to just clean all of that off, man. Take a couple extra seconds, but you know, getting it done. Getting it done. That's what I mean. Y'all see that, how them bolts is, how it's sliding? It's supposed to do that. It's supposed to do that. You want your brake caliper bolts to be able to slide like that. You want them bushings. Normally, sometimes they be locked in there. Put the bottom one on. Like I told y'all, there's no specific, like a up or a down. They all one size fit all the way around the board. On the fronts, at least, for sure. Oh, yeah. I don't know why that top one was giving me a little bit more trouble than the bottom, but I think it was how I was slanted, like trying to give y'all a good camera view and like keep myself out the way. It wouldn't allow me to put myself in the right position, but got it done. Now I done went and grabbed this the brake pads, had them sitting off to the side. Y'all see that silver piece on the back? That goes on the back one. When you're putting on your brakes, that silver piece go on the back. The front do not have that on this particular car. I have seen some cars where that silver piece is on the front and the back side of both brakes. But not this one. We good. Getting it done. Put that front joint on. Sliding that front one on. Oh yeah. Put it like a glove, baby. Remember I was telling y'all about the lube for the pins? I'm gonna show you. You want it to slide like that. I'm gonna show you guys anyway. See that? That's not bad, but it could use a little bit on there. It's supposed to slide back and forth, so get you some brake caliper grease. And make sure y'all don't put a lot of this. When I say you do not want to put a lot of this, I put a lot one time and it wouldn't let me push the pin back in, like it was so much on there. So just put a little bit, man. Enough to keep it lubricated. Make sure you put that bushing back on the caliper as well as the bolt itself. Now you finna see me put it back on the bolt. Yep, just like that. Slide it back on there. Wiggle it on there. That bushing is there so no debris from the road or dirt or anything can get in there. You see that? See how it's like sealed off now? You don't want no debris or nothing to get in there. Cleaning that brake cylinder off. Getting ready to depress that on in. We actually gonna do the top too, man, but in order to do the top, we want to go ahead and secure the bottom bolt first, or at least start it enough to where we can take that top bolt off and that whole bracket will still be on the entire wheel. Take our C-clamp again, old brake pad again, just like the other side. I'm gonna take this quick second too to show y'all, man, that y'all make sure that y'all always got jack stands under y'all cars when y'all jacking them up, man. You do not want to get caught under that thing if it fall. Trust me. You think you strong, but a car on top of you, that's a whole different ball game. Slowly, slowly depress it in. Slowly, slowly get that thing in there. I'm really happy that we ain't have to use the tool that I got off Amazon because I honestly don't really know how to work it like that. I did it like this so many times, like I don't really know how to accurately use that box of stuff. It looked pretty, but I don't really know how to use it. Put that brake caliper back down. We're gonna start that bottom bolt too. Start that bottom bolt, like I said. We're gonna also check that top pin as well. We're just trying to get the bottom started, just so we can fold it back how we did the top. Trying to get the best camera view possible. It's kind of awkward because it's slanted, but now that we got that bottom one started, we're gonna take that top one off, just so we can tilt the top of that brake caliper forward a little bit so we can get to that bolt like that. See, this one had a little more grease on it to where I ain't feel like I needed to put more on it, so I just left it. This really was a perfect scenario. Normally, it'd be rusted in there. Like most people don't ever put the grease back in there, so it'll rust in there, and you have to beat it off or twist it off and all that other good stuff. But this one came off real easy, man. That was perfect for me. And most of these bolts, like I said, they hand tighten, man. You don't need a power tool. You just need a little muscle just to get it tight. You will break the head off of it if you don't. Just get it tight. That's it. Get it snug. Hey, last but not least, man, before we get up out of here, Make sure y'all put that brake cap back on. If you need to, fill it up some more. If not, make sure you put that back on. Man. Make sure you put that back on. Appreciate y'all again for tuning in, man. Please like, subscribe. If y'all can grow with me, man, I appreciate it. I'm with y'all 100%. Bringing y'all as much knowledge as I possibly have, man. Put your people on, man. You know, we growing together. I'll catch y'all later.